What's up, everybody? Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 27 of my favorite 31 hard rock and heavy metal albums of the 70s. We've got 31 days here in the month of July 2023. I'm counting down my 31 favorites, one each day. My one caveat for my list, anyway, maximum of 2 albums by any one band. That's as high as I'm going to go for any one band, just so we don't have the entire month filled up with 5, 6, 7 bands, right? And because we've got a bunch of the heavyweights who had, maybe 3, 4, 5 great albums in the 70s, right? Don't want to make this a boring list with all the same bands. So we're trying to mix it up as much as possible, even though it pains me to do so. But on the same token, it allows me to get other bands and albums I really love into the list, right? Including this one. This particular release is the second album by this British band. First official release in the U.S., I might add. Their first album did not get an official release here. This one came out in September 1970. Produced by the band. Recorded, I don't know exactly where it was recorded at. Let me see if I can find out any other information here. Don't have that information. But it was released on many different labels. Okay, originally on B&C in the UK, Elektra in the US, Philips in Germany. Later on, it was reissued on Karma Records as well as Repertoire Records. I'm talking about the excellent Death Walks Behind You by Atomic Rooster. Now, I know many of you picked Atomic Rooster in last month's series, because, Atomic Rooster often called a prog rock band, but I would argue that while this album and the band in general definitely has prog elements, this is as proto-metal as you get. I mean, this is a heavy album. This is a doomy album. This is a complex album. This is a crushingly heavy album. I mean, come on. Hammond organ, guitar, and drums. That's all you need here. And it's amazing how heavy this is. I mean, this album you can stack this up with some of the great heavy albums of the very, very early 70s, Budgie and Black Sabbath and all that stuff. I mean, this is right up there. Uriah Heep. This is a heavy album. Of course, we got Vincent Crane on Hammond organ, piano and other keyboards, and he also they don't have a bass player, but he does all the bass parts on the organ. You got John Can or John Ducan. He always has all these different names that he uses. Guitars and lead vocals, and Paul Hammond on drums and percussion. So what do you have on this album? Well, it starts off with the absolutely blistering, heavy, crushing, doomy title track, Death Walks Behind You. I mean, listen, just that descending guitar riff and just, it's just so potent, so foreboding and ominous. Great, great track. Then you got the absolutely crazy Vug. I mean, just insane stuff. Great work out there. Then you got the straightforward heavy rockin' Tomorrow Night. Great anthemic tune. And then also the other equally heavy song on side one, which is Seven Streets. Great, great track there. Kind of got a little bit of bluesiness to it, but just heavy as all hell. Tala loves that one. Then over on side two, you got Sleeping for Years. Another terrific track. I Can't Take No More follows that up. How about Nobody Else? I mean, these just boom, 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 heavy rockin' stuff there. And then Gershatzer finishes it all off at nearly 8 minutes long. Another cool kind of heavy rock and prog type of track. Just 45 minutes, every song, just tremendous. And it's just amazing when you get like a heavy kind of like blues rock player in Ducan and you match him up with Vincent Crane's just otherworldly Hammond organ tones. I mean, just this, it's for folks who like the Hammond organ guitar matchup, kind of like Deep Purple, kind of like Uriah Heep, Vanilla Fudge, Iron Butterfly, that sort of thing. Atomic Rooster definitely have to be in that conversation as well. I mean, just a tremendous, tremendous album that I love quite a bit. As far as like charting position, album reached number 44 in Canada. That's basically about it. Yeah, this was not a big seller pretty much anywhere, but it's one of those albums that over the years has just grown in popularity, and people realize it for the influence that it was. A lot of stuff has been excuse me, covered on many metal albums going forward. You know, you had Paradise Lost, the band Paradise Lost covered some of this stuff. Big Elf also covered some of their songs as well. Other various extreme metal bands have cited and covered Atomic Rooster songs in the past. So yeah, just you know, that creepy album cover there. They are in the back, sitting there, right? In a cemetery, I would assume, right? Very cool stuff. Very cool album. I actually had contemplated including this in last month, and then I had a whole conversation with myself one day. It's like, well, do you feel deep down inside that it's more prog, or is it more kind of proto metal hard rock? And ultimately, I found it was much more of that. I think that this album is and was more important to the heavy rock scene than it actually was to the prog scene. And that's why ultimately I chose to include them here. Because, you know, other than, you know, their first, Atomic Rooster's first album is pretty much a prog rock album that had Carl Palmer on it, of course, coming over. Carl and Vincent came over from The Crazy World of Arthur Brown. That was definitely more of a prog album. Then this album is really heavy. Then by the third album, which is pretty much the same lineup, it starts to take on a little different air. It's got a little bluesiness, a little funkiness, a little lighter tone to it. Although the third album is still really, really good. And then by, you know, the fourth and fifth album, they weren't heavy at all anymore. You know, Chris Farlow joined the band, and they became more of this kind of like jazzy blues funk band, right? Totally different. To me, their most impactful album, you know, they have lots of good albums, but their most impactful album, their heaviest album, and I think the most important to the early heavy rock and proto metal scene, and maybe even, you know, stoner rock as well, is this album, Death Walks Behind You, from Atomic Rooster. That is my pick today. Oh, the allergies. That is my pick today for day 27, or pick number 27. So let us know what you think of Death Walks Behind You in the comments below. Look at that album cover, right? How metal is that? As well as your pick for today. If you've never heard this album, oh, you're missing out. Go listen to it. That is your assignment for today. This is a tremendous, tremendous album of heavy Hammond organ, heavy guitars, heavy songs, complex songs, a lot of great stuff on this album. So go check it out and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations as well as our merch page. So thanks for everything, everybody. Stay tuned. Should have a couple new album reviews for you here today. Not a lot. We had a big long holiday weekend here. I really didn't get much listening done, so it's going to be pretty light this week, but we'll pick up next week. So till then, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.